Hello, good morning. Welcome to Gaming Insight Daily for Monday, July 28th, 2025. I'm Steve Saylor. This is your daily show of gaming news, accessibility news, or updates about my life. I have coffee in my Twitch mug today. And I am back from my little weekend away at a cottage. I was just kind of talking to myself before I started recording just to kind of warm up the voice a little bit. And I said, I need a vacation for my vacation because I woke up this morning tired. I tried to actually get some sleep, and I actually did get a lot more sleep than I did than I did over the weekend. But boy, was I woke up sore. And forgive this little like red mark kind of on my forehead. I literally got. I'm allergic to mosquitoes. Not in the sense that I'm like, if I get a mosquito bite, I can like it's lethal. It basically, I get very large mosquito bites. So even small mosquitoes can generally lead to large. So I've got one on here. I've got some all over in different places. I did wear bug spray throughout the entire weekend, but doesn't matter. I always come away with at least a couple. So they're not super itchy. It's just annoying to be like it's a little bit itchy occasionally, but not to like I just need to scratch. I just like it's kind of like one of those there we go. But it was a good time away. It was great to be able to kind of disconnect a little bit and touch grass, as it were. I definitely enjoyed I think probably my favorite parts of the entire weekend was literally just waking up early, like early-ish in the morning, like around like 7 a.m. and we had a cottage that was right by a dock, or that had a dock to it, and I would go down to the dock, and they actually had this little section of the dock that had like sitting chairs and stuff that they can be able to just kind of lounge. And it was my favorite thing to do was wake up, grab a cup of coffee, and go sit on the dock, and it was great. And then also the water was really nice and warm, so I actually went swimming for the first time in like it feels like forever. And it was great. It was amazing. Although I did make one stupid mistake. Because I haven't swam in forever, I am one to basically, I don't like to ease myself into the water. I feel like that I feel like it kind of like it does not work the way you think it's going to. So I just take the cold plunge, like just basically just jump straight in. And I did the stupid mistake because again, haven't been swimming in like forever. I did not close my mouth and I took in a little bit of water. And when I came back up, because also the river that we were in, it was relatively deep, like deep enough that, I mean, you could still like, you could keep yourself afloat if you wanted to, but we were wearing like life jackets, just not in the off sense that we're going to like, we needed it, but it was more of just so that we could float without having to like exert a lot of effort to keep swimming or to keep treading water kind of deal. And because I wore that jumping in, and it like I swallowed a little bit, came back up, had to try to cough, but the life jacket was kind of almost restricting a little bit, and I was like wheezing. I was like I could barely get a thing of breath. Now thankfully my friends were there. They would definitely help me out, and I was okay within like a few seconds. Like I basically just had to pull the life jacket sort of away, and I was able to kind of like cough and catch a breath. It also didn't help that I had to belch at the same time, so I had like air kind of like trying to come up, and it was not comfortable. I'm fine, don't worry, I was fine. It only took a few seconds, but I learned my lesson. Make sure to still keep your mouth closed when you're jumping into water. And you think, well, Steve, don't you take a shower? Then you do think, no, I usually don't. I mean, I can generally, like if I'm putting my head underneath the water, I could generally breathe because the water's not going into my mouth. It's like, it's kind of surrounding me. So it's not like I'm like just a mouth open just underneath the shower. So anyway, it was a good time. I swear it was great food, great company, two of my best friends, and we just had a blast. So, but again, it was way too short, and I kind of went on vacation for my vacation. That's a very long intro. I apologize. So I'm just gonna jump right into the only news story of the day, because we had we talked a little bit about it last week, where Battlefield 6 was going to be revealed, and we saw a trailer of it. I didn't show it on the show, but The trailer basically, like, it looked like it was Battlefield 6. And I remember saying at the time that Battlefield 6 needs to do something that is different, that can bring folks, casual folks in who would be potentially interested in Battlefield 6, but had never really jumped in the past because it seems like it's the same old, same old. Well, there might be something new that they have not done before that could potentially bring more people in. And that is probably from this news story from Game Rant, and it is written by Kyle Knight. Basically the article is Battlefield 6 Battle Royale mode is taking destruction to a new level, according to leak. A new leak surrounding the rumored Battle Royale mode for Battlefield 6 suggests it will be taking the series' iconic destruction elements to a whole new level. Although EA hasn't announced a new Battle Royale mode for Battlefield 6 as of writing, leaks continue to pile up, with multiple insiders now claiming that it will come with a massive destructive storm circle that players will want to avoid at all costs. Now, again, remember, yes, even though we did get a reveal of Battlefield 6, the one thing that we hadn't seen yet was the multiplayer aspect, and that they were going to reveal on July 31st, so only a couple of days from now, as of this recording. Battlefield 6 was finally revealed to the world with an epic trailer last week, but there's still plenty more to come, as the reveal trailer focused solely on the game's single-player campaign. Multiplayer fans have been left clamoring for more. Thankfully, the end of the trailer confirmed that an official multiplayer reveal for Battlefield 6 would take place on July 31st, like I said. Some fans have already been going hands-on with the shooter via closed playtests, which has led to plenty of leaks. However, the latest rumor might be the most interesting yet, as there have been some massive claims surrounding the currently unconfirmed Battle Royale mode. Earlier this week, leaker Temporal, or I'll pronounce it correctly, so revealed some potential new information surrounding Battlefield 6 rumored Battle Royale mode. Specifically, the leaker recreated the entire map for the mode with all points of interest and much more. However, one of the most interesting pieces of information to come from the leak was that the storm circle will be incredibly destructive and fatal for any player who enters it. In a follow-up response to a fan, the leaker described the encroaching circle, saying proximity to the ring of burning NXE will damage health even in vehicles. Similar information also comes from Modern Warzone, who said that Battlefield 6 will feature one of the most deadly and dangerous collapsing circles in Battle Royale history. That's cool. Modern Warzone goes on to explain that Battlefield 6 Storm Circle will instantly destroy anyone or anything it touches. Players within 10 meters will supposedly have a fire effect on screen and be instantly eliminated if they touch it. Although both sources are reliable and have proven track records when it comes to titles such as Call of Duty and Battlefield, it's important that fans take this information with a pinch of salt for the time being. It sounds as though EA wants to separate itself from other Battle Royale titles with a unique spin on the Storm Circle feature, but there's always the chance that these ideas are altered or removed before the mode's release. It could also be quite some time before fans get hands-on with the mode too. While rumors suggested that an open beta for the next Battlefield game is right around the corner, an insider has recently claimed that Battlefield 6 Battle Royale mode won't be available at launch. Although disappointing, it's nothing fans haven't seen before. Call of Duty Modern Warfare launched at the back end of 2019, but its Battle Royale mode, which the world now calls Call of Duty Warzone, didn't launch until March 2020. Given that EA hasn't officially revealed Battlefield 6 Battle Royale mode yet, it's unclear when it will be released, but a reliable leaker has said it will be months after the base game hits PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. So this is the first time that I've probably have seen a glimpse of what potentially could be a game changer for the Battlefield sort of series. And I say game changer, not in the sense of like, oh my God, this is going to change everything in regards to Battle Royale. I think this is what I believe that Battlefield can do to at least modernize itself and bring itself up to the rest of the class as far as like the other online first-person shooters. Or at least online multiplayer shooter type games. I mean, Call of Duty has been running the realistic genre, the FPS genre for a long time. I mean, yeah, Fortnite. I think Fortnite's kind of its own sort of beast in and of itself, and it's not necessarily FPS, but it does have a shooter mechanic, but done third person. But you can be able to, they actually have an experiment with, and also have a first person shooter mode as well. So the idea of introducing a battle royale, I mean, we've heard rumors of a lot of games trying to be able to potentially do battle royale. I mean, there was always the rumor of a Halo Battle Royale. That supposedly got canceled according to other rumors. We've seen a lot of ideas for IPs to go Battle Royale mode. But we have yet to be able to see anything that really kind of sticks. We've seen, unfortunately, studios have tried to jump into that genre and unfortunately did not go super well, even with a unique mechanic, i.e. Rumbleverse. And we haven't really seen, like, Call of Duty still seems to keep going, still seems to be going strong with Warzone. It may not be at its peak as it once was when it was in the first few years of launch, but it is definitely still like at the top of the list when you think of battle royales. You think of Warzone, you think of Fortnite. You still technically could think of PUBG if you're still playing that as well. And there are very few others that people. I mean, Apex Legends also as well. Like that's still a huge contender within the battle royale space. So I think that Battlefield 6 going into potentially battle royale mode. Honestly, I think it's what brings them up to the same level as everyone else, but I don't think it does enough to necessarily, or it's going to do enough to be able to like separate itself from the pack. I'd be very curious to see what they will be talking about in the multiplayer aspect of it, because I mean I'm sure they're going to have the same sort of standard modes that they have in all the previous games, and the battle royale, even if the rumors are true that it's going to be coming months after launch. That might hurt, or that might help them basically to be able to get the mode right, or at least be able to play test it further to make sure it is going to go right. But also Battlefield 6 is known for its kind of destructive environments and objects. So I like the idea that it's basically making the circle or the battle. What is it? The destruction mode. What do they call it? Storm Circle, incredibly fatal for anyone who enters it. Yeah, okay. Here we go. One of the most deadly and dangerous collapsing circles in Battle Royale history. That was the quote I was looking for. That's an interesting idea, but it still doesn't do anything new to the Battle Royale genre that essentially could separate itself. I mean, other than, yeah, sure, the destructive Storm Circle, that's great, but and it seems like if you basically if you just touch it a little bit, you could potentially die immediately. Whereas like within Fortnite or Warzone, you still have a little bit of time, but essentially it is still doing the same thing. It is still taking away your health. It just depends on how quickly it will be. And if Battlefield 6 is basically like you touch it, you die, then sure, okay, that separates itself out. And I guess, the Battlefield sort of gameplay also does come into effect. They do have a good record of that, of making at least good, decent gameplay, even though it may not be what people sort of would want in a lot of other games. But I mean, we are talking to folks that also Battlefront, Star Wars Battlefront, and Battlefront 2 is sort of saying like a little bit of a comeback. And I'd love to be able to see the team work on another Battlefront 3, but we are seeing Battlefield 6. I do think, though, I mean, there is something to be said about their current approach of development in that they are a lot more transparent. They are basically open this up for a lot of feedback from fans, and they're, instead of just sort of keeping it under radar or keeping it under wraps for a long time as they've been known to do, not necessarily like they're an outlier, or like they're basically they're always secretive, but a lot of game development for these kind of games generally are, and it can be secretive. So to be able to kind of be open and allowing more players to be able to, like, who are fans of the franchise, to help sort of dictate and provide feedback of where they should go, I think that's a great move. That's a step forward in the right direction. So that's all what this battle royale mode could be. It could be a step forward in the right direction. If they could be able to keep up the interest in battle royale mode when that launches, then that could basically open up the idea of more players being able to jump in, and them creating different new ideas for them to be able to basically bring up to hopefully what that EA CFO has said, that they think they're going to have 100 million players by 2030. I don't think that's going to I don't think it's going to happen really anytime soon. 2030 is definitely a decent estimate, but I think now with the idea that it could be battle royale mode, now that makes a little bit of sense. Like if it was the traditional Battlefield 6 multiplayer, I don't think it was going to work. But now that it's also potentially a battle royale mode, I can see where they would they now where they're going. Now, do I think that they're going to be right by hitting 100 million by 2030? I don't know. It's still too early to tell. The game's not even out yet. We don't even know if there's Battle Royale mode officially just yet. But it now puts that quote into a little bit more perspective, being like, huh, okay, if they can make it good, if they can make it where players are interested in it, if they can keep the Battle Royale mode with going with a new content, maybe different, like obviously a variety of maps, kind of trying to be able to do their own thing within the Battle Royale space. There's potential there. Like before, I'd say that quote and I'd be like, yeah, no, it ain't gonna happen now with the traditional multiplayer mode, because it's different than it's not as modern. Like, yeah, if it was a traditional battle like multiplayer mode, but way before Battle Royale, I'd say, yeah, probably a good chunk of people probably will jump in and play. But it was like now that there is this Battle Royale like potential in or that rumor that's out there, I would actually kind of hope that they would be in there, because then it kind of puts that number in perspective. Do I think they'll reach it? It's hard to tell. In 4 years, potentially, because it did take, I think it was like a year and a half, almost 2 years for Warzone to be able to get to hit 100 million players. And you got to remember, like now things have changed since then. Like around the time when this came out, Warzone came out, it was at the peak of the pandemic. A lot of people were at home. A lot of people were playing games. So that's why it probably reached to that number pretty quickly. But as so a lot of, and also attention away from other things other than games is also kind of competing with game time. So stuff like watching stuff on Netflix or Disney Plus, or there's a lot of other distractions that people like. That's why Xbox, they think they're not necessarily competing with PlayStation. They're competing with people like with companies like Netflix or Disney, like, because you're competing with people's time. So if Battlefield 6 Battle Royale mode can be able to earn people's time, this could be the thing that would push Battlefield further into kind of the modern basically modern, what's the modern zeitgeist? That's the word I was looking for. The modern zeitgeist of these kind of games. And if it can do something that also separates itself and actually does things better, because you got to remember that, again, a lot of the feedback that they're getting, if they are getting a feedback about Battle Royale, they're probably talking to a lot of the fans or the players who have played a lot of Battle Royales and know what the Battlefield 6 could offer, and what other games do great and what other games don't. And if they take those lessons and basically can incorporate all the great things that the other games did great, and kind of eliminate a lot of things that they don't, it could stand out to be fun. And we'll see. I mean, I think the way it's gonna work is obviously we're gonna get a lot of the kind of the veterans of Battle Royale modes kind of jump in and play them, like especially the streamers and creators are gonna play them for a bit, and that'll be kind of the determining factor, because if they can keep that up, if they can enjoy like basically people playing, or they can keep playing it for a long period of time, the more people play it, the more word of mouth it gets, and the more people will want to be able to jump in. So if they can be able to convince the streamers and the content creators to be able to create content or stream it, that's going to also help them too. So hopefully that will, like, I don't know if that's what EA and DICE is going to be doing with this. We shall see. Again, this is all rumors. These are all leaks. So who knows? We will know more details, at least in regards to the multiplayer, in literally a couple of days. Let me see, what day is the 31st? So literally Thursday. So we're going to find out Thursday, and I believe that they're bringing people in to a multiplayer reveal event, which probably would mean that they are going to be having people play these online, and streamers and creators. So we're going to just have to see. I will say this: I was not invited to this. Not to say that I'm upset by that in any way, shape, or form. I'm not. Battlefield's not typically my game, so I can understand why I would not be on anyone's list for that. But we'll see what comes, and hopefully they'll maybe have some good accessibility. I don't know. EA has been kind of slowly sort of turning around their franchises to be a little bit more accessible. We've seen F1 do that, Madden do that, FC 26. Like, their sports games are really starting to kind of come together. We'll see what their other like single player or their other franchises will follow suit. All right, that is going to be it for today's episode. I would love to be able to hear your thoughts on this. Are you going to play Battlefield 6? Are you interested in playing Battlefield 6? If Battlefield 6 does launch with this Battle Royale mode, will you play it? Now, does this change things for you if you weren't sure if you're going to play before? Let me know in the comment section down below. A little bit of a shorter episode again today, but I figured, I'll just stick with that and kind of ease myself back into the flow, to the regular schedule of things and the regular flow of things. Now that I've actually been talking for a good 20 solid minutes, I actually now do feel better. So I don't feel like I need a vacation for my vacation. And hopefully the coffee will kick in pretty soon because I got to go stream and play some more Magic in a little bit. So anyway, thanks so much. Take care. Hope you had a great weekend and hope you have a great week. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.